Live. Look good. Feel good. Smell good. That's what counts, right? All right. Some marketing. Pull some people in. Do some stuff. My goal is to increase engagement from my shorts. The water drop. Okay. Edit this comment. Yeah. To get more people, I'll start the stream, start the review. Writing. Okay. Card. Oh. Stop by. See if I can get some people. See if we can get that engagement. Anybody in the YouTube chat? All right. Yeah, I started the broadcast. Do my marketing. Let's see. I'm on my phone doing this. Quicker that way. It sure isn't a man donkey. Funny. Are you sure it isn't a man donkey? I don't know how to distinguish the two. That's too fun. Yeah, my shorts are blowing up lately. Let's see. I'm gonna spam people's feeds. They commented on my stuff. I'm just replying to their comments. My channel, I can do it, damn it. Okay. Anybody? Is all this engagement working? I guess not. Sad. It says 0 views. That's the worst part, right? Uh, I'll just post it here. Upload file. Helped me out when I first started. He gave me a bunch of boyata moss. Hey. Let's put that out there on Twitter. MTG, Lorwyn, Eclipsed, and all that stuff. No way. Vinny the Chin action figure. I want one. I want one. It's rated 12 plus. Oh, it's too funny. We're here for you. Oh man. Yep, that's what I thought. Yeah, no, you're not. You're not real. Fake account. Sorry, I'm reading dumb stuff on Twitter. Bad habits, I know. I got 1 view, 0 concurrence. That's not possible. YouTube isn't making any sense right now. Doesn't make any sense. Like, where is everybody? I got stuff to do. I don't want to be doing this all night. Come on. I have stuff to do. I want to go to bed or read. Oh, come on. Oh, boy. Orcish Bowmaster being 2 bodies for it, and then 2 damage each trigger sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. In the chat. Who is. Sorry, my chat. I see what's going on here. Alright, what's going on? My fucking OBS chat sucks. Hang on. You docs chat. Hi, Sophia. Hey, thanks for hanging around. How are you? If you're hanging here, let's hit the like button. Help me out. Hey, hey, hey. Where are my magic players at? I love all my viewers, but right now, I need my magic players. My magic players to represent. I even changed my shirt for you people. No, not really, but put on a different hoodie tonight. I'm going 2007 with a band hoodie. Can you guys see it? I can't really see it. It's Under Oath. It's a teen band, screamo band. Very 2000s, very late 2000s, 2010s. Mets offer Kyle Tucker short-term contract. Phillies lead race for free agent Bo Bichette after strong Zoom meetings. That's a joke headline. Devers headline on Twitter. Promises Devers they won't sign a third baseman. Signs Bregman. Says Bregman will play second. Tells Devers to throw away his gloves. Asks Devers to unthrow away glove. Trades Devers. Doesn't re-sign Bregman. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Ah, this team is the Red Sox. Story's departure is a blow to the team. Wait, Story left? When did Story leave the Red Sox? Why are all the replies Japanese? Fuck. How old is this post? Why am I getting a post from 2023? I can't get distracted by Full Metal Texans. Oh, God. You're ruining a good thing. Yeah, some shithead bot. Bot. This guy's a bot. How's everybody doing? I'm not a bot. I'm very real. I just need people here. Where my magic players at? I'm gonna get started. My magic players are here. All right. I guess I'll just get cracking. Maybe some people play magic or just lurking. All right. Any magic players in the chat? What's going on here? This is not normal. My YouTube. This thing sucks. Get this thing off my screen. Go over here. Let's go over there. Go here. Chat. Pop out chat. Really use them regulars, but it's okay. We'll survive. Okay. Somebody let me know if they can't see my camera. Oh, wait. Hold on. Just put this over here. Pardon all the weird meandering and it sounds like rambling. I promise I'm doing something. All right, this is good enough. All right, let's get started. All right, welcome back to night number 2 of Lorwyn Eclipsed spoilers and previews. I'm actually going to do one more test. I want to check my voice and see how I sound. Because I played with the mic last night. I think I fixed it. I didn't like the way I sounded recently. Let's see. I'm going to go right here. Okay, we're going to do that. I'm going to mute. All right, I'm going to linger in my own live stream. I'm going to look at myself. All right, let's just get cracking. Tonight, we're reviewing all the main set blue cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed. We're doing just the base art, none of the funny extended art, BS art. Just the base set cards, the draftable cards. Again, and this is all just the regular art, not the extended art. All right, here we go. Leading off, we got Aquatex Defenses, a 2-mana flash. Aura. A little weird that it's not a tribal spell, but okay. Flash, enchant creature you control. Enters, enchanted creature gains hexproof until end of turn. Enchanted creature gets +1/2 until end of turn. I think this is a solid card. This could even see some standard play. It basically acts as a counter spell. It reminds me of that white one that's in from Duskmourn. I can't think of what it's called. It's flash and it's an aura. It gives your creature, I think, a buff and hexproof or indestructible. It's basically a counter spell. It's an instant protection spell. An aura at instant speed, +1/2. Gives it a slightly bigger butt, a little more power. It's a good block. You block, hexproof until end of turn, survive the lethal damage, hopefully. And yeah, pretty good. I would recommend keeping this. This is definitely maybe something sideboard for draft and pre-release. You know, if your opponent's running the first match against them is game 1, is if they drafted a lot of or got a lot of removal from their polls, this is a good way to stop that. Moving on, we got another blue aura. This just bothers me. This should be a tribal enchantment for merfolk, but I don't know why it's not. Magic design sucking again. Okay, here we are. We got Blossom Bind. Another aura. And it enters. Tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature can't become untapped and can't have counters put on it. That is a huge stopper. This is a good protection spell. I recommend this in sealed, especially in limited environments. You know, your opponent might depend on one creature to do the work and carry them to victory. You got this on it, they're screwed. It's tapped down. Chances are they're not mainboarding enchantment removal. Maybe game 2 they're going to sideboard in some stuff, but can't become untapped and can't have counters on it. And the can't have counters on it is huge because if they have any blight mechanics, blight, you need to put blight counters to make certain cards function to do their job. And if you can't put blight counters on it, this they're losing out on a lot of card potential. This is definitely a very powerful card. I would consider just mainboarding this a great control card if you want to run a janky control deck for your pre-release. Okay, here we go. We got our first blue rare. Got these mean looking fish with some red spears, and they look like they're not in water, but we won't get into that. Additional cost to cast, Behold. So we saw some Behold mechanics last night with the white, with mostly Kithkin. Exile a merfolk you control, or a merfolk. I don't know why I'm saying that so weird. Merfolk you control or one from your hand. When this creature enters, it becomes tap. Tap up to one target creature and put a stun counter on it. This leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. This is pretty good. It's a 4 mana, 4/6. It enters, it instantly does stuff. That's great. But you need to have that merfolk to behold. Now, what's great about the behold mechanic is anything with changeling, you can behold the changeling. So if you get this and a changeling, run those in your deck. And it doesn't have to be a creature. It can be it's not tribal anymore, it's kindred. I call it tribal because I hate the kindred thing. Nobody was offended by tribal. Bring tribal back. Make tribal great again. You can behold something with changeling, or you can behold a merfolk, a tribal merfolk spell. It doesn't have to be a creature. So enters, you tap something up to one target creature, and you put a stun counter on it. And the fact that, so whenever you attack, you're going to lock down one of your opponent's creatures and be able to get through. This is basically an unblockable card. This is very powerful. It can help get your dudes through if you worry about them getting blocked so your dudes don't get killed. You keep your creatures. They get the stun counter on it, and they're not going to be able to untap as long as they have a stun counter on them. So don't pass on this if you get blue in your pulls. Moving on, we got another rare fish. Disruptor of Currents, 5 mana, flash, convoke. So it's going to get cheaper. When this enters, return up to one target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That's amazing. This is definitely usable. This is going to see some standard play. So the convoke is very helpful. You can convoke, hit this, tap down your Champions of the Shoal, and stun and lock down some of your opponent's creatures. Definitely very handy. This is a great card combo. Chances are you're not going to land these two rares side by side. Unless you're one of those people that cheats at pre-release and sealed events. They bring cards from their prior pulls or that they bought and sneak it into their card pool. That does happen. I've seen people do that. So Disruptor of Currents, very cool, very powerful. The 5 mana 3/3, but again, your goal is to convoke this. Your opponent comes at you, tap down your dudes on your turn, convoke this out into play, get it out for cheap, and you could bounce your opponent's non-land permanent. It can even target things like planeswalkers, enchantments. There's a lot of utility here. Definitely don't pass this up. Moving on, Flitterwing Nuisance, Fairy Rogue. I missed my black and blue Rogue deck. That was so much fun. Enters with a 1/1 counter on it. Remove a counter from this creature. Remember a creature you control deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker this turn. Draw a card. So he's got the card draw utility. I don't like the 3 mana. I recommend keeping in your main board any flying you get in your pre-release pulls or your draft pulls. You want a flying card in your card pool. Pull and pull. I got to start using different words not to confuse anybody. Yeah, don't pass on flying, kids. Remove a counter from this so you can put your blight counters on it. Now, granted, this card is a bit small. He's only a 2/2. It enters with a 1/1 counter on it. So remove the counter. You could put another blight counter on him. Maybe we're going to come across a lord that buffs your fairies or your rogues. That would be a good combination to have here. But again, it's a flyer. You don't want to pass that up. Moving on to... What the fuck? Come on. All right. Glamour Gifter, 2 mana, flash flying. They love flashing you this time around in Lorwyn. When this creature enters, choose up to one other target creature until end of turn. That creature has base, power, and toughness 4/4 and gains all creature types. That is amazing. This is extreme utility right here. So the flash is great. And what I just say about flying, you want flying. Draft your flying cards or use your flying from your pre-release kit. This is amazing. You can attack. Your opponent sees this card, another 1/1 coming at a 1/1 coming at them. They don't take the damage. They don't block it. You bang, flash this out into play. It becomes a 4/4, and you're gonna hit them for more than they thought. I recommend saving it for a good combat trick if you want to. So if this gets blocked, it doesn't get KO'd, something like that. But this is definitely a very good card to have around. Do not pass on this. I know I just said this about the past however many blue cards, but definitely do not pass on this. Don't pass on this. I don't know what else to say. This is amazing. Buffs something, flash, flying. You can't go wrong. Okay, we got Glamour Might. I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point. The fairies are all going to have flying. So you got a Tinkerbell putting a spell on Link over here. We got flash. We got flying. Again, perfect pair. Now, this one, when this creature enters, choose one, tap target creature, untap target creature. Okay, that's very good. You can play this, tap your merfolk from above, put a stun counter on one of your opponent's creatures, and you're going to be sitting pretty. You got a good way to get on through. Then again, the fact that it's flash adds another extra bonus. I feel like blue might be the only archetype worth running. Okay, here we go. We got another one. Glen Alendra Guardian. Flash flying. Enters the 1/1 counter on it. Remove a counter from this creature. Oh, that's so screwy. Remove a counter from this creature. Counter target non-creature spell. Oh my god. And it's a 3 mana, 3/4. You can blight this, and you got a counter spell on a stick. And that counter spell on a stick doesn't even require tapping. This is amazing. So have an outlet to remove counters. It's got flash. It's got flying. What have I been saying about flash? What did I say about flyers? More so the flyers. Evasion, a simple mechanic like flying. Don't pass on that in limited formats. Here we go. Something that doesn't have flash or flying, but it is an instant. This spell can't be countered. Huh. Counter all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. This shuts down is at prowess, and I love it. Create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature token with flying for each spell and ability counter this way. That's amazing. So you got somebody storming off with a bunch of cards. You cast this. Your opponent's doing all that free cast BS. You cast this. There's a lot going on. This is going to see standard play in draft and pre-release. Not really sure. I haven't been countered too many times. Like had my stuff countered in a pre-release too many times. I don't know how great this will be. People are going to see a mythic and try to think they're going to use this. I think this is a sideboard worthy card, but I feel like it would see standard play, especially all the control going on in standard. Standard right now is it's either absolute control, kill everything, or you're not going to have a good time. How do we feel here? Oh my goodness, this is great. All right, let's move on in. My chat working? But I feel like my YouTube chat's not working. Why am I getting no views? What is going on here? YouTube mad at me that I'm cheating, that I put this in dual stream? Up to 22 views. Guess I shouldn't think about this too much. Pardon the view sweating, but I'm not out here to do this for exercise. And tee-hee, my YouTube channel. I want numbers. All right, before we move on to the next one, I am going to use the bathroom real quick. Let's give it some time for my fellow planeswalkers to jump in the chat. And I'll see you folks in a few minutes. I got to go hit the head. Oof. Take a little swig of some medicine. Sore throat. All right. And break. All right. How was it doing? All right. How far behind is this? There we go. I wonder if this page is from. So weird. It is quiet tonight. This is bizarre. Oh, man. Trying to increase my engagement, and this is what I get. Anybody out there in the chat? Any of my Magic players out there? Sucks. Talking to nobody. Get the chat back up. A little break and see if more people come up. How we doing, everybody? Take 5. So, looking at Lorwyn Eclipsed spoilers. Got a blue mythic. How do we feel about this? Yeah, I'm talking with my mouth full, so what? Mm-hmm. 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 Ducky Ducky, who's that? I'm reading something from my Discord, don't mind me. Hmm. Look at this ice agent in glasses. That's so funny. Hey, Francois, what's happening? Right. Well, I got a planeswalker here. Welcome, Francois. Looking at Glenn Alendra's answer. How do we feel about this? Oh my god. More of the usual retirement shenanigans? Such as? Everything okay? Hopefully they're not fucking with your VA benefits or anything weird. This is indeed a commander staple. I just don't know how good it's going to be in pre-release or draft. I don't see it. I feel like this is a good card that's For it's a sideboard. It's definitely standard viable, but pre-release kit or draft, I don't think this is great. It's good in the sideboard. If your opponent's got a bunch of bullshit you don't want to deal with, there's this. I mean, it's a 4-mana cancel, basically. All good there. Nice to hear. Nice to hear. I doubt when I hit retirement age, I think Social Security is going to be insolvent. The social contract might, and just the way we do things might even change with retirement in general. That's what I'm thinking. A 4-cost counterspell and draft. What's really dumb is it's not tribal. This should be a tribal instant. Glenorlendra is the fairies realm. This should be a tribal spell, and it's not. They got rid of tribal, replaced it with kindred, but they're so afraid to use the kindred thing. I don't know. This feels like a leftover from like a Modern Horizons set. That's what this feels like, and they just shoved it in this set. And you're not going to counter all spells your opponents control. So they play something. They play a Llanowar Elves. You counter it with this, and then they respond with an instant. Are all the spells in the stack countered, or just the Llanowar Elves? I'm gonna move on. Anyway, people don't fall for the mythic trap. Be careful when you get this. If you get this in your pulls, I think it's sideboard worthy in pre-release and draft. But I'll leave it to you to be the judge. Again, people see a mythic and think, "Oh my god, a mythic! I got to use it." I've done that before. Me and one of my buddies would he buys boxes from Moody. We cracked a box of Capenna. We just did a sealed event. We each opened 6 packs. I got that blue removal spell, destroy target creature. This spell can't be countered. I just fell in love with that spell, and I built my deck around those colors, and the colors were just trash. I didn't have good pulls, but I liked the rare I got. So don't fall for this. Okay, I just love this card. I have an affection to old Lorwyn and Morningtide Rogues. I love those cards. They just sing together so well. So 2 mana, Gravel Gills Scoundrel. I love everything about this card. The art, the rogueness, 2 mana, 1/3. This is great. And it has Vigilance. You don't see that on this build of a card. I did not expect this to have Vigilance. That's amazing. When it attacks, you may tap another untapped creature you control. If you do, this creature can't be blocked this turn. That is not a great ability. If you have a creature that has an ability that, if you have a creature paired with this that has, when this creature becomes tapped, XYZ happens, this is good. Situational in that sense. I think Vigilance is a very powerful ability to have on a creature in pre-release and draft. So I would not pass on this. I feel like I said this about all the blue cards so far. Don't pass on this. Don't pass on this. If you're running a rogue build, this is a good card. I won't say it's an auto include. Use your best judgment. But the 1/3 body I like. Vigilance I like. You might see play in standard. Think Slick Shot. You cast 3 or 4 spells to pump it. You counter the last one. It counters all of them on the stack. Okay, it does counter all the stack. That makes sense. All right, this got a lot of attention. I do a lot of cap cut YouTube shorts of Magic the Gathering cards. This is one of them. I think this card, it's very blue. It's what's that blue common from Morningtide or Lorwyn? They reprint. It's basically a near reprint of Distant Melodies, Distant Memories. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Now keep in mind, there's Kindred. You're gonna have Kindred enchantments, Kindred artifacts, creatures of that type. This will give you the card draw for each one of those, not just creatures. So the fact that it has Convoke, this pairs nicely with a lot of your creatures that have when this creature becomes tapped ability. You're going to be drawing some cards here. The fact that it's instant speed, I think, is pretty good. As far as limited formats, you want to run a 40 card deck, maybe 50 at most. You're going to get a lot of cards you need. The fact you start with 7 cards, draw 7, the draw 1 for turn. you're gonna get into your deck pretty quickly. I don't think this is gonna do well in that format. It's good to draw extra cards to get that one piece you need. This is gonna see a lot of play in standard. Things like Is It Prowess that come across decks in Arena. They need one certain card, and they just keep digging and digging and digging. This will be the card to help them get there, especially for kindred decks, tribal decks. I almost said typal. That's a garbage word. How do we feel about Harmonized Crescendo? It's a very blue card. A draw card, rare. It's kind of a bummer to get. There's just better cards you can get. How do we feel about this? All right, this is I used this for the thumbnail tonight. I just like the art. Illusion Spinners. You may cast this spell as though it had flash if you control a fairy. Oh, that kind of sucks. Flying. This creature has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Hey, Michael Superbacker. Last time you saw me, I was Santa Claus. Yeah, I forgot you stopped by. Thanks for coming by. Let's all hit that like button. We're reviewing cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed, the upcoming Magic set. Pre-release is this Friday. I reviewed white cards last night. Now I'm going through the blue guys. So Illusion Spinners, 5 mana. That's disappointing. This is disappointingly bad. You may cast this though to flash if you control a fairy. So if you have a changeling on the board, you know, it has flash. This creature has hexproof as long as it's untapped. That's pretty useless. It's a flyer. You basically want to keep it around a block, and it has hexproof. There's not a lot of this is kind of crap. There's not a lot of targeted removal in standard in pre-release kits and draft formats. They're not if they're gonna use removal, they're not gonna target this piece of shit. Like they can't if it's untapped. This thing might as well they might as well get rid of the creature has hexproof if it's on untapped ability and just give it defender and make it a 3/4 or something. This is not a good card. As much as I love flying in those formats, this is bad. You ordered a few packs? Nice. All right. I got something cool to show off. All right, this is pretty cool. I forgot I had this. I have an original Lorwyn playmat. Pretty cool, I think. I don't know how much of this you guys can see. It's a little beat up on the corners. I could probably fix that, but I think this is one of my favorite Magic possessions. Thinking about just putting it on my wall. I don't even want to use it. I even thought about selling it. If anybody wants it, make a reasonable offer. You can have it. It's a little worn, but pretty cool. I got a lot. I have a ton of Lorwyn. Right. We got ourselves a Kolrath Mystic, a 3-mana blue elemental wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature gets... This is trash, alright. This creature gets +0 and gains vigilance on a turn. This is a bad card. It doesn't fly. It requires a lot of work. 3 mana, 2/4. You're going to want to do better than this in your pre-release kit and draft. How do we feel about this? This card is trash. It's not going to see standard play. This is definitely a pass, not a smash in standard. Let's move on. Lochmare. I thought this had a reprint. Is this reprinted? No, it wasn't. I thought this was a card from Eldraine. All right, how do we feel about this? Lochmare, Horse Serpent. It seems like a weird ad for this set. Like, this should be a fairy or something. Anyway, it enters with 3/1/1 counters on it. So 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be a 1/4 when you cast it. A 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. A 1/2 when you cast it. Sorry, I mathed that wrong. It's late, and I have a kid, and my brain hurts. Remove a counter from this creature, draw a card. So that's important. It has a way to get counters off of itself. You're going to be casting it pretty early on. You can do this fairly quickly. Do it during your opponent's turn. If your opponent taps all their mana to cast a creature, and you have the mana, use this ability during your opponent's turn. Remove the counter, draw a card. Get this thing back to being a 4/5. Remove 2 counters from this creature. Tap target creature, put a stun counter on it. A stun counter, whatever. If a permanent with a stun counter on it would become untapped, remove a counter from it instead. Pretty great in your opinion. Lochmare is great. I hope you mean Lochmare, not that piece of shit elemental we just looked at. This is a very good card. This is powerful. And it's a mythic, so I wish you well in getting one in your pre-release and draft polls. But this is a great card. I feel like a lot of Lorwyn is going to be very tempo. I feel like they're trying to slow standard down. You have to wait a few turns or interact with your cards to make them do stuff. Yeah, it doesn't tap to activate. That is definitely huge. I hope the standard meta gets slowed down. They're going to need more sets that have stuff like this. Okay. This is a great card. I think this is awesome. This can do stuff in standard too. Because there's other counters you can put on it now. I think since, what was it, Ikoria, they introduced death touch counters, lifelink counters, flying counters, indestructible counters. There's other counters you can put on this. I don't know how much of that you can do in standard, but there's definitely you could put 1/1 counters on them. Actually, if you have a 1/1 counter and a -1, a +1 counter and a -1 counter, I was told they both fall off. I don't know how accurate that is. I thought it just had both counters on it concurrently. Because I have a +1 counter and a -1 counter on it. They would just cancel each other out, but it still has the counters. That was my thought. But apparently, you can't do that. If you put them both on it, they'd fall off. Which is kind of BS, but I'm not a rules lawyer. All right. Okay, we got another weird-looking Kithkin with oversized hands. Lofty Dreams, 5 mana, convoke, enchant creature. When this enters, draw a card. I feel like this should have flash. It gives you something flying, you draw a card, and it gets bigger. Or at least give it vigilance. I feel like this can do more. But you like flying in pre-release kit and draft. Any Magic rules people out there, or any judges out there? How do we feel about this? The fact that it convokes, I don't know. I feel like this should have flash. I want more out of this card. Like, you have to convoke out this to get the card draw and buff your creature. Like, eventually, you end up just attacking with one creature, which I guess might be worth it if you got a 1/1, a 2/2, and a 3/3 on the board. Tap your other two dudes down. Your 3/3 becomes a 5/5 with flying. And your opponent has has two creatures in the ground that don't have flying. You can get over. Wow, that's a trap. Definitely pass on this in draft. I'm thinking draft and pre-release kit. Just get one of the flyers. You don't need to worry about all this extra work just to draw a card. All right, I love changelings. I just love the way these changelings. These are great. Each non-land permanent you control becomes a top copy of target non-aura permanent. Oh, that does planeswalkers. Wow. Well, you don't want everything to become a copy of a planeswalker or a legendary creature. You'll end up sacrificing. You'll have to sacrifice them all down to one because legend rule is a thing. This is amazing. The fact that this is an instant, this is incredible. You can attack with let's say you attack with a 5/5 or some really juiced creature that's got a bunch of 1/1 counters on it. Attack with the 5/5, your Llanowar Elves, and your other piece of shit card. Play this card, everything becomes a copy of your juiced 5/5 and send it at your opponent. Yeah, the thing up here though, this isn't even good this isn't good in standard, that's for sure. I feel like if you didn't draft any draft or get any flying out of your pre-release kit, this is an okay, just okay at best card, but if you got blue flyers, just pass on this. It's not worth the card draw. Mirror form, this is amazing. Now, it's a mythic. It's kind of a trap. Don't fall for it's a mythic. You got to use it. It's 6 mana. It doesn't have convoke. This is a game ender. Now, granted, I feel like this is a bit of a slowed down meta with Lorwyn Eclipsed with all the 1/1 counters. You have to interact with other pieces on the board to do stuff. Not just free cast, be an asshole, and cheat like the current standard meta is. So maybe you can pull this off. It's abusable. I'll probably see standard play. Oh yeah, this is a commander card for sure, which is a problem. They keep putting commander cards in standard, but that's a whole other soapbox for another day. I think this is a good card. Again, in limited formats, it's a game ender. Consider it in a sideboard and very situational. in a very situational way. Now you can each non-permanent you control becomes a copy of target non or a permanent. You can copy your opponent's stuff. If they have an artifact or a creature on their side, you can do that. If your opponent cheats out a big fat Eldrazi in standard, non-pre-release, non-draft format, at least like a standard constructed bring your own deck, you can target their big fat creature and make all your creatures a copy of that. This is very good in that sense, but again, it's 6 mana. And it could be a trap. Your opponent comes at you, you got the extra mana. Now, chances are if you're mono blue or running blue, your opponent's gonna think twice. Whenever someone has open blue mana, even if it's a multicolored deck, I'm still apprehensive. I'm like, they're gonna come into something. Sometimes you got to YOLO and go for it. No risk it, no biscuit. But again, the instant speed is very helpful. We'll move on. Okay. This has been a pet-friendly, awesome card for me. I made 2 YouTube shorts off this card alone, and they both got thousands of views. And this is great. So, Noggle the Mind. Noggles are basically like donkey-headed humanoids, and it's hilarious. The fact that they're called Noggles is just A+. Noggle. Noggle me harder. Okay, so it's Flash. Gotta flash those Noggles. Flash Aura. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a colorless Noggle with base power and toughness 1/1. That's amazing. So that big Eldrazi coming at you, that big Dino, that big scary Stompy, that juiced up Chocobo chick coming at you, Tifa, Sephiroth, Cloud. Throw this on it. No, it's a 1/1 donkey. It's a 1/1 donkey man with no abilities. Now, granted, it's going to keep all its counters, but the fact that this is Flash, this is great. It's like a Flash pacifism almost. There's other cards in Standard that do this, like Eaten by Piranhas and Witness Protection. I think Eaten by Piranhas, of those two, is the only one that has Flash. This is really fun in that sense. I love this card. This is great. Keep this around if you draft it, not just because I like it, or in your pre-release kit. It's a good protection spell, a good way to protect yourself. Yeah. The fact that and you're right, Francois, thanks for that. The fact that it loses all their creature types, especially in the Lorwyn Eclipsed, sealed, and draft, which depends on kindred, tribal, whatever you want to call it. This is devastating. If it's all, they're running an elf or a merfolk tribal deck. You hit it with this card immediately negates that creature's connection to all other cards. It can just totally ruin a tribal deck. Go ahead and move on. Okay, we got Oko. Lorwyn Liege. Oko is back for his 38th scheme. I always thought he was from Lorwyn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay green. So 3 mana, 3 base loyalty. Beginning of your main phase, you may pay green. First main phase, you may pay green. If you do, transform it. Up to 1 target creature gains all creature types. This effect doesn't end. Wow. Up to 1 target creature gains all. So up to 1, you can just proc the +2 and not even target anything. It's up to 1. So 0 is a number. You can target nothing and just puff him up to being a 5/5 loyalty. Target creature gets -2/0 until your next turn. That's great. It protects itself. This is going to be very powerful. A 3 mana planeswalker that can do other stuff. Let's flip him over. Oko, Shadowmoor Scion. At least this artist knows how to draw abs. Yeah, I'd say so. That looks anatomically correct to me. Beginning of your first main phase, you may pay blue. If you do, transform. So you can flip it back and forth. It's weird that, so the green side mills and not the blue side. That's interesting. Beginning of your first main phase, we read that already. Mill 3 cards. Put a permanent card from among them into your hand. Wow. So it's got like a built-in Elven Cachet or Noxious Revival. Create a 3/3 green elk. Okay, create 2 elks. A little underwhelming. I feel like this reminds me of Garruk. Garruk created beasts original in his first form. I don't think that's great. Elk? What? No elk. I know it's Oko's thing, turning people and things into elks, but that seems not great. Why aren't they changelings? Anyway. Choose a creature type. You get an emblem with creatures you control the chosen type. Get +3/3 vigilance and hexproof. That is devastating. That's a game ender. So how fast can you do that? You play Oko. You can. The fact that his only 2 abilities are up ones on this side. Up to 2 target creature. Up to 1 target creature gains all creature type. So right there, if you do this one, it becomes 5. Survives in their turn. You can protect yourself. -2/0. He's at 6. You can flip. You can flip into this pretty quickly. Seems to get hard to get there. I think it gets pretty easy to get there. Especially at multi, like if your Oko gets beat up, you can play another Oko. You're not going to draft 2 of these or get 2 in your pre-release kit. Most likely that's not going to happen. But in standard, that can be a thing. Now, granted, you have to get each one up to 6. But I feel like that's going to be pretty easy to do. Just protect him. Just run a deck around him with just counter magic. 2 turns if you sack him. Yeah, it's not hard to do. Especially all the blue control going on in standard right now. I do like this Oko. Playable and everything. Commander, draft, pre-release kit. You name it, they can use it in that format. I like this guy. Omni Changeling. I feel like these changelings are just trolling. They just turn into random stuff just to troll the native creatures. So 5/5 changeling. Convoke. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it as changeling. So you're basically got a 5-mana clone. It comes into play as a copy of something. I like that. You can copy anything. Your opponent's got a big intimidating creature that's supposed to be their game ender, their win con. Boom, this is a copy of it. The fact that you can convoke it out, even better. I recommend keeping this on hand if you get one of these. A lot of mana, but again, the convoke is very helpful. How do we feel about Omni Changeling? Playable in all formats? I definitely agree. A clone effect like this is amazing. And again, worth noting, the pre-release market price on this is currently pegged at $1.07. Uncommon. Wait till people start ripping open their pre-release kits. All these prices are gonna settle real quick. So we got Pestered Wellguard. It's a 4-mana Merfolk Soldier. When this creature becomes tapped, create a 1/1 blue and black fairy creature with token with flying. You want to run this in your deck. You want flyers. This is a flyer generator. Have cards that care about tapping other cards. Tap a creature you control. Even when you attack with this, or find other means to tap it, when you convoke it, you're going to get stuff. This can be a convoke whore, basically. Have it out, use it to convoke. You get yourself flyers and evasive creatures. This is a great deal. Keep this around if you get one. I'd recommend using it. Again, everything I say to use, make sure you have the right build, the right colors. You got enough pulls of blue, white, green, whatever you're trying to do. But I would definitely think about this. I feel like blue, for those of you here last night, we looked at white. Feel like blue is a lot better than white. Okay, we got Rhyme Chill. This art style looks old-fashioned. What else have they done? Okay. See what other cards they did. Did some old school cards, but I guess not. Excuse me. Forgot they made a Furby secret lair. This guy did one of them. All right, we got Rhyme Chill. There it is. Oh boy, 7 mana. That's not great. This costs 1 less to cast for each color among permanents you control. This is a bad card. In pre-release and draft, you don't want to run more than 2 colors, in my opinion. So if you run 2 colors, 1 less to cast for each color among permanents. You got a green, got a white, blue. It's down to 4 mana, but 6, 5, 4. I feel like this thing is never going to be cheaper than 4 mana in a realistic competitive draft or pre-release deck. Tap 2 target creatures, put stun counters on them, draw a card. The card draw is nice, but this is not good. Prefer 3 in draft. I've always stuck with 2. I tried doing a 3-color deck once and it blew up in my... I don't think this is a good card. You guys be the judge. Art. Style choice, but I feel like the rest of his cards don't even look like this style. I don't know. All right, what do we got here? Rime Fire Torque, a 2-mana artifact. I feel like this should be an elemental tribal artifact, but it's not. Yeah, good curve in 2 colors. Yeah. So when this enters, choose a creature type. Whenever a permanent you control the chosen type enters, charge counter. Remove 3 charge counters. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy it. Choose new targets for the copy. Okay. This is going in, is it prowess, probably? Because it triggers prowess. It's a non-creature spell. So you can name monk, you can name wizard, you can name otter, you can name all kinds of things. I see this popping off in a, is it prowess deck? Only Wooburg commander. Yeah. It's a 5-color commander only, especially at that cost. It's not a good card. It's not good in standard. It's basically maybe a commander card at best. It's still not great. So remove 3 card charge counters. When you cast an instant or sorcery, go with it. Sorcery spell this turn. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is good, but I don't see it working in your pre-release kit or draft. I don't know how else to say it. It's going to take too long. There might be some janky artifact removal. Again, permanent you control the chosen type. So with kindred artifacts, tribal enchantments, you can get this pretty quickly, but there's a lot of work to be done. We're going to move on. I haven't seen enough 1-mana spells in white or blue yet to make this really viable. And if you get this in a limited format, I don't know. It's a rare. You might fall in love with it and get trapped by it, but I would consider passing on this. It's a very niche build, especially in that kind of environment. But definitely commander, definitely standard. All right, we got another one. Rhymekin Recluse, another blue card. 3 mana, 3/2. When it enters, return up to 1 target creature to its owner's hand. It's a body that has a boomerang built into it, an unsummon built into it. If you can find a way to blink it, there's that white card that it blinks something out and it gives you a changeling. Blinks out a dude, gets you a changeling. This is a good target for it. This is not worthy of being an uncommon. What do you guys think? Smash or pass? Remove 3 is probably, yeah. Yeah, that is too much for draft on the Rime Fire Torque up here. This Flamekin Recluse. I'm not in on this. I would pass this, not smash it. All right, this is definitely I know this is a reprint. We got Runaway together. Choose 2 target creatures controlled by different players. Return those creatures to their owner's hand. I feel like this should be an uncommon. By different players. So one of your creatures, one of your opponent's creatures, send them back to their hands. For 2 mana, you're losing a dude, your opponent's losing a dude. It's good removal and limited in draft. This does not see standard play, but pre-release kit or draft. But it's not good in any other format. But as far as formats at your pre-release or your draft events, it's a decent enough card. Especially if you're running blue. Good protection spell. You can get your creature back if it's in trouble and send your opponent's creature packing. I like the art on this guy. Rainbow guy boy over here. Ron Spencer, he's been around the block. So Shine Striker, an elemental, 6 mana. Okay, we hate this. When this creature enters, draw cards equal number of colors among... Okay, this is a bad card. It's 6 mana for a 3/3 with flying. There's better options. Pass on this. Not much more to say. Vivid is very underwhelming so far. I think we saw some Vivid cards in white last night. They were not good. I would pass on this, not smash it. A draw card, just to draw cards. 6 mana, 3/3. I don't care about drawing. There's not a lot going on here. And again, draft, limited, whatever you want to call it, pre-release kit. You're not going to want to run more than 2 colors, in my opinion. All right, Silvergill Mentor reprint. No, that's Silvergill Adept. I'm thinking. So 2 mana, additional cost. This okay. Behold a merfolk or pay 2. When it enters, create a body. So 2 mana, create a body. Now you can behold a changeling. You can behold a merfolk spell that isn't a creature, a merfolk enchantment, merfolk instant, merfolk sorcery, merfolk artifact. This is an okay card. It gets you at 2 mana. Basically, it's a 2 mana for 3 power total, with 2 bodies. Not awful, but if you're running a 40 card deck, your chances are you're going to draw into more merfolk. So in the right build, you got this or a bunch of changelings, you're going to be okay. So I would think about it depending on the build. But as far as standard, I don't think it's going to see a lot of play. I don't know how much of a push merfolk are going to get, but definitely in a limited format. Silvergill Peddler. Think Silvergill is good? I think so. Silvergill Peddler. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. I hate the discard a card thing. You know, it's a good convoke engine. You're going to convoke, though. He becomes tapped, then you're discarding something. Maybe an okay card. If you have a build that has a lot of convoking, this is the card for you. It's got a decent enough butt being a 3 toughness, but there's probably better options out there for card draw. Again, it'd be silly to spend 3 mana and a slot in your deck on something that's only useful for convoking. Drawing cards is always nice. You want those resources. Boo, discard a card. I agree. We'll move on. So, this Merfolk Citizen. We'll pass on this fish, not smash it. Spell Snare, a good old-fashioned reprint. Counter targets spell with mana value 2. So, counter magic, I haven't encountered too much in pre-release events or draft. How about you guys? Anybody seen a lot of counter magic? I feel like it's a good sideboard card. In the right build, it's great. There's a lot of cheap creatures and cheap spells. Look at the price on this. It's market price. The one from the Ascension is $396. Modern Masters $354. Battle Bond $252. The list copy is $219. Probably reprinting this to bring down the secondary market. It's very situational. Sideboard at best. Okay, we got Stratosaur. How is this an elemental and not just a bird? Okay, 5 mana. I already hate it. When this creature enters, target creature gains flying until end of turn. It's a good finisher if you want something else with flying, but the fact that it doesn't have Convoke, it makes itself useful with basic land cycling, but I don't know why it has basic land cycling. There's something coming up that cares about elementals in the graveyard. You lost the control with double blue counterspell? That sucks. Yeah, this sucks, this card. Pass on Stratosaur. Stratosaur, Passosaur. Not a good card. Alright, Summon Sentinel. 2 mana, 1/3, Elemental Soldier. When it dies, draw. I think that's decent. You can probably attack with this. Your opponent's like, no, fuck that. I don't want you drawing a card and take 1 damage. Pretty fun. You can play that Mirror Form card. Your opponent targets this and you got 3 creatures in the battlefield. Play Mirror Form, turn all your creatures into that. Copy of this, draw a bunch of cards. This is decent enough in a blue build. Serviceable. The 1/3 is nice. It can survive a few blight counters. If you do enough blight counters, if you use him as a blight counter punching bag, when he dies, he does something for you. So there's some utility here. This is not going to see play in standard, but it works in the right builds. All right, I love this one. Thunderflock. I saw the picture and immediately thought of the Mother Goose and all the one of the songs my daughter listens to all the time. Uh, Mother duck said quack, 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 and all the little ducks came back. That's what I thought of with this, but except Mother Goose is Satan and her children are Hellspawn. That's what this looks like to me. Raw power. Hey, what's going on, Dunk? Stratosaur is draftable because it has cycling. If you draw too early, also 5 flying toughness is going to be difficult. That's true, but it's very expensive though. And you're going to live long enough to 6 mana if you know what you're doing. But I feel like there's better options. Now, this Thunderflock I think is very good. An elemental build, it's great. It has flying, X selects the cast, where X is the greatest value among elementals you control, mana value. This creature enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to the owner's hands. This is going to fuck up the board, send everything packing that's not an elemental. I like this card. And it has flying. So, Mother Goose from Hell, keep her around. Quack, quack, quack. Want to fuck with your opponent, play this and say quack, 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 and tell him Benson told you to say it. Waterway, I like this. Fairy getting punched out by a rhino bat. I don't remember many rhino bats in the lore, but what do I know? Okay. Swat away, 4 mana. They're just about to complain about the mana cost. 2 less to cast if a creature is attacking you. The owner of target spell or creature puts it on their choice at the top or bottom. That's amazing. Target spell or creature. So 4 mana protection spell. It's a boomerang. It's a more expensive boomerang. More expensive unsummon. But the fact that it targets a spell is great. Your opponent casts a spell, a removal. You can send that removal to the top or bottom of their library. Better because of cycling. Yeah, the cycling is definitely helpful. I mean, your Thunderflock can help pay for the Stratosaur. Your Stratosaur can help pay for the Thunderflock. Nice. How do we feel about Swat Away as a protection counterspell sort of thing? Bounce spell. I like this. There's definitely enough blue around to run funky control builds in pre-release and draft. Yeah, pre-release kit and draft. I like that. I would keep that around in the right situation. Or sideboard it. You can always put this in if your opponent's got a bunch of bullshit that's targeting you. All right, there we go. Another flip card. Sig, Wonderwine Wisdom. 2 mana, 2/2. Can't be blocked. I like this. When it enters or transforms, target creature gains. When this creature deals combat damage to player or planeswalker, draw a card. I like this. When it enters, gives your stuff abilities to give you card advantage. I'll take this all the live long day. So it's pretty situational, I feel. When you cast it or it transforms, you're going to be depending on it for the transform more than likely. I wish it had flash, but that would just be too much and too. Beginning of your first main phase, you may pay white, transform. What does it do? Sig, Wonderbrine Shield, can't be blocked. When this creature transforms, target creature you control gets protection from each color until your next turn. That's amazing. But the fact that it transforms during your first main phase only and enters during your first main phase uh, makes that pretty limited, that protection ability. Until your next turn is definitely very helpful. So your stuff can get through. Your opponent's running a monocolor build. You can run right through him. The fact that he's not blocked is an added bonus. He can't be blocked. I would keep this around. Definitely commander card. Maybe some play in standard. Picture from each color until end of turn. The fact that it's each color is very good because chances are there's not going to be many monocolored decks at events. So definitely consider this. All right. Monofel Rhyme Speaker. Big is kind of busted. That's very busted. Protection, draw. Can't go wrong. Okay, 4 mana. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, draw a card. So your stuff that gets convoked I think this cares about the base mana value, so it's pretty good in that sense. Overall, otherwise though, this is not a good card. It's not playable in draft or sealed. Um, I don't know what else to say. Commander, maybe it's good. Not good, but can go into a commander build. Elementals can get pretty expensive, the powerful ones. So you can have this guy around to draw cards. But this isn't really worth the cost or effort in your pre-release kit or draft. Temporal Cleansing. What do we got here? We got a 4 mana common convoke. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it into their library second from the top or on the bottom. That's just a troll, second from the top. And we like the convoke. I don't like that it's a sorcery. I feel like that makes it really unhelpful. What people say about insurance, I think it's great. Insurance is situational. Like, as a concept, insurance it kind of sucks. It's like, I got to pay monthly for this just in case something happens to it. And it might be like, you might have insured like your, didn't J-Lo insure her butt? Like, what's really going to realistically happen to her butt? Yeah, you can get hurt. You can sit on a nail or something. But chances are that's not going to happen. Anyway, this isn't about J-Lo's ass. The owner of target non-land permanent into library second from the top or on the bottom. Let's all take a moment to hit that like button, by the way. Speaking of J-Lo ass, let's all hit that like button. Let's keep this train moving. Say hi to Nishi, one of my regulars. The owner of target non-land permanent. So how do we feel about this? This isn't good. It should be an instant. I don't think it's too much to ask that a 4 mana blue spell that bounces is not an instant. Lloyd's is kind of BS. What's Lloyd's? I don't know what that is. How do we feel about temporal cleansing? I'll give you a cleansing. When I was your age, I gave him cleansings all the time. Okay, how do we feel about this? I like the art on this. Very creepy looking. Thirst for Identity, a 3 mana instant. Draw 3 cards and discard 2 cards. Unless you discard a creature card. This is going right into Izzet Prowess builds in Standard. They love themselves some draw. Yeah. It's decent in pre-release and draft. Pre-release kit and draft. I think this is playable in those settings. You're gonna have plenty of creatures. A lot of this is very creature heavy. You know, getting rid of one dude, doable. But instant great is, it's not great as a sorcery. We'll move on. I do like Thirst for Identity. The fact that it's an instant. I see this going in a lot of blue control builds, Izzet Prowess, and other things in it, like standard. But definitely utility here. You can use this in your draft and pre-release kit. All right, somehow an owl astronaut made its way to Lorwyn. Unexpected assistance, 5 mana, convoke, draw 3 cards. So another draw spell. Same thing, except this is only then discard a card unconditionally. You're going to be able to get into this pretty easily. The fact that it's instant speed is nice. Needs more eyeballs and tentacles. You give this card a 3 on the demonic card art scale. So what, 10 being Satan, 1 being Mr. Rogers. Draw 3 cards, discard a card. I like this. It's usable. You can get away with this in your pre-release event or draft. See this working in standard. Tap down all their stupid otters. And other bullshit. And do stuff. More tentacles and faceless humanoid. Alright. Unwelcome Sprite. 2 mana. He's making a mess. He's spilling the milk. Nobody's happy. Flying whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn. Surveil 2. I don't know how great this will be in a pre-release event, draft event. This will see standard play in some like budget control builds. 10 being a portal straight down to hell. Okay. Pretty scary. I don't think this is worth it. I see it as only a 2 mana flyer. Unless you've got a ton of blue magic, you're not going to be able to get over on your opponent on that alone, though. Got a lot of that in pre-release kit or draft. I only see the utility in this being a 2/1 flyer. And maybe you'll be able to surveil once or twice. I would pass this, consider a different flyer if you don't get it. If you get other flyers, pass on this, not smash it. I like the art on this guy. Wanderwine Distractor, 4 mana, 4/3. When this creature becomes tapped, target creature an opponent controls is +3/0. So your instant speed convokes. This is helpful. During your turn, to attack, something gets weaker. You can kill your opponent's stuff, but this guy is 4 mana. He is 4/3. It's not great. It's a very utility card. It has to be in the right build. But then again, it's 4 mana. What do you guys think? All right, moving on. Wanderwine, Farewell. Look at the art on this guy. What's going on with his hand? Hand's like fading away behind him. It's like Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Okay, 7 mana. Convoke. Kindred Sorcery Merfolk. Was anything here Kindred? Yeah, okay. Hard design going down the tubes. Okay, so 7 mana. Tribal Sorcery Merfolk. It has Convoke. Return up to 1 or 2 non-land permanents owner's hand. So again, planeswalkers, enchantments, creatures. If you control a merfolk, create a 1/1 white and blue merfolk creature token for each permanent. Return to their owner's hand this way. So you can get up to 2 dudes. You convoke. This should be a source, an instant. Kind of shitty. It's only your turn. Like, you're not going to want to do this on your second main phase, ideally. You're going to want to, before combat, cast this, send stuff back to your opponent's hands, attack, and they'll have to cast it all again. What's happening in this art? I think this merfolk, he's fucking with their boat. He's tipping their boat over. It is a weird perspective. You can't quite tell. Is the boat being crushed? Is half of it being eaten? Is this like a vortex? I think the boat's being flipped, like the boat's flat, being pushed up, and they're about to fall out. Basically they're getting capsized, but going this way instead of being like, flipping on its side, flipping on its what, from hull to stern. Any naval people out there? I like the look on the guy's face though. He's like, what? So how do we feel about this? I don't like that it's not an instant. Your turn only. Your stuff that gets tapped for convoke. It's nice. This fat looking fish. So when this becomes tapped, you can convoke with this, get a body. This weird looking fish over here. You can make something weaker when you convoke. What else? It's not great. Decent enough bounce spell. We're gonna move on. How do we feel about Wanderwine Farewell? Serviceable. Again, you're gonna need the right blue build for this. Wild Unraveling. What is going on in this art? Oh, that's his arm. He's becoming unraveled. Okay. As an additional cost to cast, Blight 2 or pay 1 counter target spell. You need this. This is your friend. Counter spell. Near unconditional. It's cancel. It's 3 mana. You have to blight something. Blighting 2 can be a bit steep. You're going to put 1/1 counters on a weak creature and end up killing something. But if you're creating enough of your merfolk tokens, your weenies like that, your expendable guys, this is the perfect card for you. It's amazing. I've never seen this much control viability in a draft or pre-release event. This is very good. I like this. This is going to see standard play even. I'd keep it. All right. That's all our blue cards. Tomorrow night, we're going to do it black. One of these nights, I'm going to have to do 2 colors. So white, blue. Tomorrow, something. I feel like tomorrow's going to be black and whatever the next color is. Black and maybe whatever's next on the list. I'm just going down the list. So that's all our blue. So tomorrow night will be a 2-color stream. Maybe I'll just jump off and go ahead and make that thumbnail. So last but not least, how do we feel about Wild Unraveling? I like it. I'm certainly into this. Go back. Let's go back again. Let's start from the top, do a quick run through. Well, Aquatex defenses, I like this. It's a counter spell almost. It's protection. Hexproof until end of turn. Your plan is to keep your dude alive and give give him the buff. This should be a tribal enchantment. I don't know why it's not. That's a design fail. Blossom Bind, good control card. It helps you just make something totally useless to your opponent. Can't become untapped. You can't convoke with it. You can't blight it. This is a great control card. I feel like this will see some like standard play on Arena Unranked for just doing dailies because it's decent enough there. Champions of the Shoal, when it enters or becomes tapped, tap a creature, put a stun counter on it. So this is going to work great with your convoking. And whenever you attack, you're going to stun something. You got your Disruptor of Currents. It has Convoke. Again, helps tap down your other cards. Enters, non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Got an unsummon, a Boomerang built in, rather. Excuse me. So we like that. We like Flitterwing Nuisance. I was saying the whole night, your flash cards, your flying cards, more so your flying, don't pass on those in your limited formats. This card, it's kind of weak. Move a counter from it. Whenever a creature you control does combat damage to a player or Planeswalker this turn, you draw a card. Glamour Gifter. This is a very good card. It's a bit of a protection spell. It gives you a body. It has flash. You can sneak in and even finish your opponent off. If you just need 4 more damage, you can get on through. Okay, we got Glamour Might. More flash, more flying. Enters, choose one. Tap, target creature, untap a creature. You could target one of your own dudes that have, when this creature becomes tapped, stuff happens. This is a good card. I wouldn't pass on this. Another flying flash. Do not pass on this as well. Enters a 1/1 counter out. Now it's a rare, so you might not get too many of them. Remove a counter from him. Or counter target non-creature spell. It's control on a stick. So as long as you're able to keep blight counters on this, you're not going to be attacking with it. It's a good protection spell. The Glen of Lendra's Answer. So this is more likely a commander card. Standard play, some control builds. It can do totally counter an entire stack. As far as pre-release kit and draft sideboard, I just love the art on this. I love me some black and blue rogues. 2 mana, 1/3. Whenever it attacks, tap another untapped creature you control. If you do, this creature can't be blocked this turn. So you got to do a lot of work to get this to be a 1/3. You want to tap down your stuff when this creature becomes tapped. XYZ happens. Really the only right way to run this. Convoke. You're going to want this, I believe, across all formats. Choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control the type. That includes your tribal enchantments, tribal artifacts, things like that. We got us our illusion spinners. Not great. Has hexproof as long as it's untapped. You almost have no incentive to attack with it or convoke with it. You want to keep it alive and around. You may cast it. The flash is conditional. There's better flyers. I would pass on this. Full Wrath Mystic, 3 mana, pass. Lockmare, very good. You want to keep one of these around. This is a mythic you can't be. This mythic won't be a hard sell on you. Some mythics are traps. Mythics and rares. People think it's mythic or rare. I got to use it, and it's not a great card. Doesn't fit your pulls. If you got blue, you get this. You need this. Remove a counter from this creature. Draw a card. Remove 2 counters from this creature. Tap a creature. Gets a stun counter. You got Lofty Dreams. There's better options. If you're running blue and you didn't get any flyers, use this. Other than that, not a good card. Mirror Form is definitely a commander card. It's a good late game card in standard. As far as draft and pre-release, a big maybe. I don't think you're going to get that far, but I would consider it. If your opponent's got a threatening creature, you got nothing but weenies out, you can cast this late game. If you're down on your luck and turn the tide to yourself. Noggle the Mind. This is a great control card. It negates your opponent to a Noggle with base power and toughness 1/1. It loses all their Loses all colors and all other creature types. This totally screws tribal decks. Oko, we love this Oko. Oko is Broko yet again. Another 3-mana Oko. Protection, makes something weak. Up to one target creature gains all creature types perpetually. So he really works well in tribal decks. His flip side, you mill permanent card into your hand. You create Elks. His -6, his ultimate, choose a creature type. You get an emblem with creatures you control the chosen type, get +3/3. He will help out your changelings, which is very good. Omni Changeling, I like this. I would definitely run this in your deck if you get one of these at pre-release and draft. The Well Guard, this gives you the flyers. There's a lot of, you're going to be convoking this. You want to keep it around for those purposes. Or those other cards that have, to do this effect, tap target creature. You want to tap this for that effect. You want to tap it for convoke. You want to sneak in and attack with it once. That's good too. You're not going to be able to do that a whole lot probably, but you want to do more. This card is more valuable, leaving it alone, not attacking. And if this is your convoke core, just keep it around for those purposes. Rhyme Chill, it has Vivid. It's a trash card. It's not good. Even with the card draw. Rhyme Fire Torque, this is going to see standard play. I don't think it's going to be great in pre-release and draft, but that's just me. Rhymekin Recluse enters, return. This is not a good card. Like these blue elementals all seem to suck. It bounces something to their owner's hand. If it had Flash, it'll be good, but 3 mana, 3/2 bounce. It's good enough if you got no other options, but you want things like flyers. If you got flyers, you don't have to worry about bouncing stuff. Run away together. This is not going to see standard play. It's been reprinted a bunch of times now. It's good. It's good in pre-release and draft. Good protection spell. Shine Striker. Excuse me. I like this Bug Eyes cracked out art. Draw cards. You can number of color among permanents you control, but it's not a good card. Too much mana. I'm out of water. All right, I'm at 7 likes, people. 3 more likes. It's a cool way. 3 more likes. The gang sign like. 3 more. Get me to 10 likes. We like Silvergill Mentor. I would keep this around if you're running Merfolk Tribal. Definitely viable. So for 2 mana, he creates a dude. So for 2 mana, you get 3 power on the board. Merfolk, you need a lot of them around. It helps. It's a good convoking card. Helps convoke your stuff later on. You're going to behold something. Chances are there's enough cheap Merfolk around. Behold a Merfolk. Choose a Merfolk you control or reveal a Merfolk card from your hand. So, decent enough in that sense. Do not pay the extra mana. Find a way to make this work. Use a changeling and make this guy work. Silvergill Peddler. It's a convoke whore. Nothing more. It's not going to see standard play. So in the right convoke builds, if you drew a bunch of convoke spells, but you can't convoke your way into winning a game usually. Spell Snare. Sideboard. Standard play for sure. But sideboard. I think this is the first time it's coming to standard, right? Wow. This is a monster reprint now that I look at it. Yeah. Wow. That's why it's worth almost $4. Wow, way to crater the market on that one. Counter target spell of mana value 2. That's going to screw up a lot. This is going to slow down a lot of Izzet prowess. I definitely can dig this. So keep this around if you get one. Stratosaur, we talked about this earlier. Draftable, I'm quoting Francois. This is draftable because it has cycling if you draw it too early. Flying 5 toughness is going to be difficult to deal with in draft. That is true, but you're going to need the mana for it. How are you going to pay for it? It doesn't have Convoke, doesn't have Vivid. You can get to 5 mana. It's not hard. It's not complicated. 5 mana just for 3 power. You can get a bunch of flyers out early on in the game for cheaper than this guy. It's good to thin out your deck for the basic land cycling. Basic land cycling on this just feels out of place. I like Summit Sentinel here. When it dies, draw a card. It's a good blight counter for. Keep this around, dump your blight counters on it. Send it at your opponent. If they block it and kill it, you draw a card. They want to take that 1 damage. The fact that it's a 1/3 is very interesting. It makes it a little stronger, a little more susceptible, taking a bit of a beating. I would definitely recommend this in the right blue builds. Thunderflock. Other duck said, quack, quack, quack. All 5 little ducks came back. Okay. So reducing the cost is nice. Greatest value among elementals you control. When it enters, if you cast it, return all non-elemental creatures to their owner's hand. I feel like this will see Pioneer play and old Omnath builds. I still see Omnath, Risen Reef decks, Pioneer and Arena. This will fit in nicely. That build. Definitely in Commander decks. Standard Elementals, I guess time will tell if that'll be a thing. This is a decent enough card. You know, again, flying, and it has the rebate to make itself taxing. Swat Away, this is a decent, I would say good card to have around in draft and sealed. The owner of target spell or creature, top of the owner's library, top or bottom. 2 less to cast if that creature is attacking you. But you could also just target a spell, sending it packing. So it could be a 2-mana pseudo counterspell. We like Sig, it's very broken, can't be blocked. Enters or transforms. Target creature gains whenever this creature deals combat damage. Draw a card. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1, transform. When it transforms, target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice. I don't like that it's only during first main phase. It'll be broken if you could just keep doing it. I don't expect that. Maybe more higher cost ability to transform at any speed, at instant speed. Given that it's a 2-mana card. But I guess that would be too powerful. Target creature you control gains protection from each color until your next turn, which is pretty good. So it lasts for a while. You use it. Your opponent's turn, your stuff still has protection. Your turn, it wears off. Definitely a very powerful card. Tonifel Rhyme Speaker. Bad card, don't do it. Temporal Cleansing. This is the fact that it's a sorcery sucks. It's situational. I think it's sideboard. If you're running a blue control build, sure. You want to have out a lot of creatures to help convoke, like your guy up above. It becomes tap, stuff happens. Thirst for Identity, the portal to hell over here. You're going to have a lot of creatures at your disposal that'll be able to get away with getting those 3 cards. Discard 2 cards, let's discard a creature card. Owl Astronaut. I know he's got a helmet on because he's underwater. Could be a bubble spell. I'm not going to overthink it. Draw 3 cards, discard a card. You're going to be able to convoke this out. You want to thin out your deck in pre-release. This is not a great card. It's just a flyer, in my opinion. You got enough pieces to make this work to get that surveil off, sure. But don't count on this being nothing more than a flyer. This guy, not a good card. There's better stuff around when it becomes tap, stuff happens. Definitely not standard viable. Wanderwine Farewell. We don't like that it's a sorcery. You can do it during your turn. Non-land permanents. You can target a planeswalker, which is nice. If you control a merfolk, you get a body with it. For each permanent return this way, so you can get up to two merfolk. So you tap down all your stuff, convoke, turn 2 non-land permanents. You get 2 bodies that are untapped. I think this works in a good control, decent enough control build. And in a standard deck, I think this will be okay, but probably not see standard competitive play. Wild Unraveling, I love this card. Blight or pay 1. If you pay 1, it's a 3-mana counterspell. It's basically cancel. Definitely smash this one. And that's that. All right. How do we feel about these cards? What did everybody think? I didn't like my hat. I wore a red and white Waldo tonight. Can't really tell from this angle where my camera's situated. How are we feeling about these cards? My chat not working? Stuck on one message. This Vor? What does Vor mean? Huh. Okay. How's everybody feeling? Uh, anybody here? Are you new from my shorts feed? I post YouTube shorts daily. I'm back to posting shorts daily. Some of my shorts are really taking off. I'm loving the engagement I'm getting. Uh, I've been commenting on my shorts saying, "Hey, I do magic live streams. Please stop by. It'll be fun. I'd love to have your opinion." And I don't see any new faces. That's okay. Maybe some people are lurking. I understand that, but great to have some more folks around. My microphone is nasty. It has like water spots. Clean up around here. What kind of ship are you running, Benson? Okay. How are we feeling about these cards? Is anybody buying any sealed product for Lorwyn Eclipsed? I have a bunch of Lorwyn cards, original Lorwyn, over there. I'm not getting up. How are we feeling about this, everyone? You like the way the thumbnail came out. That's fun. Mm-hmm. How we doing out there in chat? Everybody okay? I absolutely hate that my posts on Twitter go fucking. No replies, no nothing. Quality thumbnails, handmade, none of that AI shit. I get posted. All right. Gotten kind of quiet around here. One bought a couple of collector boxes. Damn. You gonna share with your favorite streamer? No, I'm kidding. Nice. I don't know. I don't have it in me to buy a collector box. I can't. My wife would publicly execute me, and I would deserve that. Those are close to tentacles. They look like it. I'd say so. I would like to get a collector box one day, but I don't know. It'll probably never happen. No way. Like if someone came into my chat and dropped like a really, really high value super chat, I would maybe get one. But even then, I probably couldn't afford it. The cut YouTube would take. Collector packs and pre-release. I do like pre-release kits. Those are fun. Like they're not great value though. You're better off just buying like I don't know. Last time I did a pre-release is March of the Machine. I got absolutely trounced. And the price, it's basically 6 marked up booster packs. 6 overpriced booster packs that come with a date stamped rare. Now my date stamped rare was the Vorinclex. Not Vorinclex. Um who's the red Phyrexian Praetor? Oh, what the fuck's his name? I got the date stamped foil version of that. That card held some pretty good secondary market value, but it wasn't worth it. It would have been cheaper just to buy 6 packs and leave. I was so mad. Basically, you get 1 pity pack for entering. If you scrub out and just lose and don't make the top 3 or whatever, you get extra packs. You basically, I paid a premium just for 7 packs and the date stamp promo, which wasn't fucking worth it. I was so mad. I have the sleeve from that. Here it is. I guess the good thing is, it's pretty cool having around old sealed product stuff, remnants of old sealed. That's the only upside. I was so mad. My friend who was sitting across from me, he got the fucking Ragavan from the Multiversal Legends. He got a Ragavan. I got shit. I timed you out because you made a shitty comment about me being on drugs. I don't appreciate it. So don't make stupid comments. Oh, knocking stuff over. Can't bend that way. Hopefully that stays. Oh man. And are you even Australian? Don't say mate. If you're not Australian, don't say mate. Or British. Yeah, or British. Don't say mate. Don't be edgy. How are we feeling about these cards? Did he say something impressive to get put in timeout? He said, "Oh, you're the Adderall guy," and just being a complete asshole. So out they went. I don't care what you you hate that I did that. I hate when people come in and make nasty comments. How about that? Just how I recognized you. Doubt you recognize me. No, I remembered you. What do you mean how you recognize me? Oh, you're the Adderall guy. Like you knew you subbed to me enough to come back. You knew people were making comments that time. Like, how did you forget? So I'm not. I'm just done. Goodbye. Banned. I don't see your messages. Just leave. No, he was just being an asshole, Nishi. I just don't need it. I don't need that. I used to not really care about trolls because trolls, honestly, their engagement helps me because the more they linger and hang around and just be clowns, the way, especially with the vertical feed, right? The more people you have concurrently in the chat, the more you get pushed. But I don't care enough anymore. I don't. I have enough traction now, even though I'm really struggling tonight. Maybe it's because YouTube knows I'm cheating. I turned on the dual stream feature, and I'm in the vertical feed, and I turn on dual stream, so I guess I'm showing up twice. Maybe that's why. So tomorrow night I won't do that. I'll just be in one feed and see what happens. But I just don't need that kind of crap from people. Don't need it. Don't want it. And I don't care if people think I'm being too sensitive. You don't show up and tell someone they look like they're on drugs. That's just not, I don't know what world that's, you know, someone takes the time to get out there, be creative, do something, and people just insult. You know? I don't need it. Moving on. I can't tell if something I ate isn't working with me or maybe I'm getting hungry. I don't know. I am out of water though. I think I got to feel the humidifier in my room too. I don't know. Anyway, how are we feeling about these cards? Any new people in the chat that want to speak up? Speak now, forever hold your peace, sort of thing. Hmm. Hmm. So off topic, I'm looking at Twitter. The guy who created Dilbert is disgraced, apparently. Blue feels better than white. Yeah, I agree. The white is very underwhelming. Feel a little bit better about this set. I mean, not everything is chaff trash, but um, blue is better than white. All right, everyone. Well, I see I went down a like. Maybe that was Jason. I don't know. Not a big deal. Likes aren't everything. I make up for it on the shorts feed, on my regular channel shorts. Well, if you're lingering and you haven't hit the like button yet, I need 4 more likes. Let's get the stream to 10 likes. Count. Other than that, any final thoughts on Lorwyn? Lorwyn Eclipsed? What are you feeling about Lorwyn? Like it's a very Irish name. My monitor blinked out. That was weird. It's fun. I'm looking at Twitter again. Probably stock. Stop. Stock. Talk. Pokemon McDonald's is coming back. If you want Pokemon cards in your McDonald's box, get in on it. New England Patriots have a male cheerleader. Beat the Chargers, which is not impressive. Anyway. All right, everyone. Thought the art would be awesome, but it's incredibly disappointing. The art for you think the art in both colors is disappointing, or the art in Lorwyn overall? I wasn't excited for the art. I think that if you go to my YouTube Shorts, the short I posted tonight, earlier today, is that white call. It's that white Kithkin card with the weird looking art where they're all dancing and playing a flute and the guy in the wheelchair. I think it's AI. There's something very sus about that art. If that card is AI, that magic artist's entire portfolio is sus as far as I'm concerned. The art is disappointing. Yeah, it's not great. Magic art isn't the same anymore. Especially with Lorwyn. There's a huge fan following of this plane. People are happy we're going back. Um, Nothing's ever going to be as good as the original. It's not going to be. It's very rare that a Godfather 2 comes along. Godfather 2 meaning the sequel is better than the first one. I mean, some people think that Spider-Man 2 is better than the first one. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Um, it's very rare the sequel is better than the first one. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm running out of stuff to say. I'm just gonna get going. Oh wait, okay. Nah, that one is Photoshop. Someone said 4 people isn't a festival. Add some more, and some heads got clipped into the background. You think so? Yeah, it does look weird because the people in the back, their lower half is missing. I don't know. I feel like he might have done something with AI too to generate floating looking midget weirdos, and this is what we got. And, like, why would it generate a guy in a wheelchair? Because there's that Google AI or one of the AIs that came out in the past few years that it was overly woke. It said, "Show me a picture of the typical American family," and it was black people sitting at a Thanksgiving table, and one of the people was a black guy in a wheelchair missing his legs. Like, like, why is one of them in a wheelchair? I don't accept wheelchairs in fantasy settings. There's no reason for that. Like, it's the magic multiverse. A bear and a squirrel can drive a car. There's no reason that that guy is in a wheel. I don't accept it. Like, I don't. If he had like robot legs, mechanical legs, I would get it. Like Duretti. He was that goblin that used to be a planeswalker. Now he's a creature. When he was a planeswalker, he had like robotic legs or people carrying him on a chair. And his creature form in Aether Drift, he's in a wheelchair. It's just so blatantly stupid. People that are in wheelchairs aren't thinking, "Oh, gee, I sure hope I'm represented in a card game." They're thinking, "No, I hope every place I go is handicap accessible." Handicap, okay to say? I don't mean to get on a soapbox or a rant about this stuff, but it it's not a barn burner and a bat, and fuck it, everything's ruined because one guy's in a wheelchair. Uh, but it's just unnecessary. Like, I don't care they made Aragorn black. I think that's fine. It doesn't matter. Like that, I didn't care about. The stuff like this is just so forced. And again, I'm not mad down on the whole set because there's a card with art featuring a guy in a wheelchair. But that whole art just looks fucking weird. Like the faces look weird. Kithkin never looked like that in original Lorwyn. And now they look like, you know, Cabbage Patch Kids, but meth baby Cabbage Patch Kid. Ah, I don't know. Not impressed. I'm a big fan of the original Lorwyn. Do I have anything original Lorwyn lying around? Hold on. Let's see what I got in this bag. That's a good question. What is in this bag? Where's the chat? There. Oh, are these the device? Okay. Here's a good point. This is I'm glad I found these. Okay. These aren't great examples, but they'll suffice. Okay. Uh, the fat packs used to come with plastic dividers. These things, pretty cool, actually. Now the dividers that come with deck boxes are just cardboard. Like, look at this fairy. This is Una's Blackguard on a card divider. Look at the quality of this art. Like, does this autofocus? Can't tell. I don't think it does. Maybe. And look at this one. I think it's Nats Elite. You're just not going to see art like this anymore. You're just not going to have this anymore. Microcephaly, Agent Orange babies. Damn. So you think Kith can always microcephaly? I'd say that's closer. Microcephaly, Agent Orange baby. Mean. It's mean, but it's an apt description. This is not. This is a new Phyrexia deck box. Where's the camera lens? There it is. Pretty good, I think. Like, stuff like this is cool to collect. And it's just a statement of the quality of the game. Anyway, I'm out of stuff to talk about. This is bad radio. It's not mean. I'm not making fun of them. Oh, that's true. You're just stating what they look like. No, that's a fair point. I'd say the microcephaly is closer. The word I never thought I'd say on stream, microcephaly. Making fun of Kithkin. Yeah. No, Agent Orange is no joke. There's still people around affected by that from Vietnam. It's a very serious thing. That. Anyway. Francois, Nishi, Dunk, TCG Dude, Michael Superbacker, Sophia. Thanks for hanging around, making the chat interesting. Francois, thanks for your input and thoughts on all these cards. I appreciate you coming around every night. Tomorrow night, you're a Kifkin. What up, DJ? Let's all hit the like button on the way out. Get me back to 10 likes. Get me to 10 likes. I was at 7. I think that Jason guy I banned, removed his like. I don't really know. But let's all hit the like button. Let's do the stuff. Tomorrow night, we're gonna do it black. We're gonna review the black cards. I'm just going in the listing that Scryfall gave me all the cards. So tomorrow night, we're gonna do it black. We're gonna keep it black. We're gonna stay black, and we're gonna like it. One of these nights, I'm gonna have to do 2 colors in one stream. Maybe on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. I'm thinking. We'll do 2 colors. So we did white, blue. Tomorrow will be just black. 3. Thursday will be 4 and 5. The remaining 2 colors. Plus artifacts. All right. All right, everyone. Nishi, I recommend downloading Arena if you want to get into Magic. It's as much as I complain about Arena and call it rigged, which it is. Arena is a good way just to learn the basics of the game. I think it's good for that purpose. But other than that, if you want to learn about Magic, download Arena. That's my suggestion. Because you're not always going to have people around to play with. And, I honestly hate my LGS. I don't want to play with strangers. So there's that. Anyway, everyone, I'm rambling. DJ, thanks for stopping by. Everybody else, anyone else, feel free to come back next time. Certainly hope you come back. Could use some more Magic players next time. Or just really anybody. If anybody wants to ask questions about Magic and learn more, feel free. I'll help you out. And I'll leave it there. Have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Come back tomorrow night, reviewing Black. Stay black, everyone. Have a good night.